today you're joining myself and Luke on the banks once again. We're actually on Abbey Lakes and we've travelled up here to catch up with 4 Team Mistral members. And as soon as we got here, one of the lads down the bank had a new PB. So we're going to go down and catch up with him in a second and show you that fish. It's a great start for him and hopefully it's a sign of what's to come. Lots more fish hopefully will come out. It's a lovely little venue, nestled in the middle of nowhere really, so it's nice and tranquil. As you can probably see from the sky behind, we got another thunderstorm rolling in, and I think I speak for both of us when we're a little bit sick to death of filming in rain at the moment. So hopefully it just passes through. We get some nice footage of course, but hopefully once that's gone, it brightens up a bit and we can actually start having some summer weather. Whatever happens, hopefully there's going to be plenty of fish to show you.
Right, so I've just had my PB, first rods, we got them out straight away. And we banged my PB, 24.5, absolutely beautiful. It is just a stunning fish. I had it on an Atlantic crab pop-up with a spinner rig on them weeds over there, which we'll show you. And they are, what a result.
Okay, so after being bivvy bound for pretty much the last 2 hours with various storms rolling in, bits of lightning, loads of thunder, loads of rain, it's finally starting to brighten up a little bit. So we're going to have a little walk down the bank, have a chat with Rob and Noah, see how they're getting on, find out a little bit more about what they're doing and a bit more about their background as well, because I believe they've got a YouTube channel as well. So it'd be good to find out a little bit more about them and how they got into their filming and fishing.
Right, so we've just came over and had a little sit down, just having a little chat. We've been in the bivvies all day, so it's nice to be out a bit. But it is still raining a little bit. It's been raining most of the day, so we've been in the bivvies, like I just said. But Rob's had a fish already. It's quite a good start, that was, wasn't it?
Yeah, literally the owner took us around the lake and just said, just get your rods out first. Hopefully you can little bang one, so that's exactly what I did. It must have been in, what, 10 to 15 minutes?
10 minutes he had his rods out. Yeah. Right rod went off from the reeds and it was a beautiful 24 pounder.
I know, yeah, beautiful PB as well, so can't get any better I suppose.
You were using a spinner rig, weren't you?
Yeah, spinner rig. It was on a helicopter system with a spinner rig on and an Atlantic crab pop-up, which was just perfect obviously for that carp, and it took it really nice.
Yeah, so what I am also fishing on my swim, which I haven't had anything yet, I've got a PVA bag on one with just a simple inline system with a hair rig on the end, and then on the other one I've got a spinner rig with an Atlantic crab pop-up on the top of that, and I also have that on hair rig. On my hair rig I've got a PVA bag on, and on my spinner rig I've just been chucking out bait because I've currently lost my spom in the lake. Right, so me and Rob also have a YouTube channel called Lost and Fishing, and we've been posting every week on it for about a year now. And it's doing really good, so if you want to check that out, it would be mint for check us out and give us some support.
Yeah, we're on 4,500 subscribers, which is, like I say, we post every week, so we've always got consistency. We post on Sunday at 12, and the videos are doing amazing, really. Yeah,
we're posting a load of videos. We're trying to get a lot more fishing videos out there as well, because we've been doing a lot of koi pond videos, because we just built a koi pond. But we're going to get on the bank a lot more. We've caught some, Rob's had a nice fish, and hopefully we've got a lot more to come.
Yeah, definitely go and try and make a little video, probably our own little video from it.
Some little snippets of fishing here, so if you want to see a bit of our perspective as well, we will do a video on that as well.
Yeah, so also we fish in Stoke, that's where me and Emma are from. We just fish all of the local lakes around there. They don't have like big fish, so it's a big opportunity to come down here and fish for some bigger fish, and we've happily already had one, which was my PB.
And we've definitely noticed, more you come down south, the bigger the carp are. up north by us, we've got loads of little tiddlers. Come down here catching 24s in 10 minutes. A lot easier.
I would have loved to do that down there. But yeah, like I say, I had that big fish here and I've absolutely loved that. It's been amazing.
So welcome to mistralbaits Team Social. I'm Leon Tudet, the social media manager, and we've come down to Abbey Lakes in Cambridge. What we've done is we've sort of occupied the 3 sides of the lakes with the 4 anglers that are on. Myself, Nick Tolson and young Rob and Noah from Lost in Fishing. So we've off to a good start already. Young Rob has opened his account quite early, with a mirror at 24.8, which is really good because it's a PB for him, so I'm made up there. The lake owner, when we met him, he gave us some great information about the lake, which was obviously, he told us about a trough that run right the way round, which we all found that. It's 8-foot piece of water. And he said if the fish are basically in there, you will get pickups. I found a good plateau out in front of me at 13.5 wraps. So basically I've occupied one rod on that and the other two are sat in the trough down the reed line. So we'll see what comes of them. So obviously we've got a 48-hour session in front of us. The weather's a little bit up and down at the moment. We've had a lot of strong winds, rain. We've had to set up actually in the rain. So everything's sort of drying off right now. So we'll see what's ahead of us.
Yo, 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 Carpman Tow. Well, welcome. It's a beautiful countryside in Cambridgeshire. You join us here at Abbey Lakes. It's a 5-acre lake. Been told approximately 150 to 200 carp in the lake. We had a bit of a nightmare with the rain. It was horrendous getting the bivvy set up and everything. Anyway, the rods are on the dance floor. My left-hand rod is positioned into the margin. So we're just slightly scattered bait with minstrel baits Atlantic crab and 8mm Belgian shrimp. Just a light scattering, just top it up as we go along and see what happens. Anyway, my middle rod, we've got it out into just off the corner of the island. Not too close because obviously it goes quite shallow, so brought it down into a 4-foot depth. And we've got that on a runny rig with as a slip D. And like I said, just 6 or 7 spoms over that rod. The right hand rod, we've got in an 8-foot trough on a slip D with an Atlantic crab wafter. Loads of 4mm Atlantic crab pellet soaked in matching syrup. So yeah, the rods are on the dance floor, guys. We just need the carp to come and join in the party.
So we're finally back in our swim. We've done the rounds and been around checking on everyone for this evening. Everyone's got the rods out and it's looking pretty good for a bite. It's been a quiet day, but I don't think the weather's helped out. We've had pretty much every type of weather you can have. We've had sun, rain, lightning, thunder. So yeah, it's been a little bit of a
Didn't
hectic...
have snow?
Huh?
Didn't have snow?
No, we didn't have any snow. No, that's about the only thing we haven't had. So yeah.
Didn't have hail?
Didn't have hail. Right, this is going on too long. So I'm going to get my rod out. Just pinging out a little 6-foot rod for the night, and then I'm going to have a little bit of dinner, I think.
That's my spot.
Oh, lovely.
Now I see where the rings of yours are. I'm just to the right of that. So basically we found the gully, which we've seen the map from Rob and Noah earlier. Just a little flick.
That's it.
Donk. And it's much deeper. So earlier when we just flicked the rods out for 20 minutes, half an hour between showers, just stick them in the margins, but way too shallow, getting picked
really
up the
weedy
coops.
as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's gone. Well, what were we, about 2-3 foot probably in the margins, and this this gully that goes around is probably about 8 foot. So
From what we understand, they spend a lot of time in there. So
yeah,
it's worth trying. And it's a clean drop.
yeah, nice and clean. And if anything happens, it's a nice bonus fish whilst we're filming. So can't really ask for much more than that.
First fish of the session on the mistralbaits Atlantic crab. 32.10 in open water. Couple of spots around the area. Beautiful. Look at that. Just gone 10:30, so hopefully there's a few more to come. Get the rod right back out on the spot. Beautiful.
So considering we're not here to actually fish, it's been a bit of a frustrating night. So 4 AM the rod went, and that was a little tench that came in, put it back out, and then I think it was about About 6 o'clock, rod went, I had a drop back. Everything was just slack, reeled into it and just nothing. Then about 6:30, pretty much as soon as the rod went back out, ended up with another bite, which was a screamer that I felt, and then the hook pulled. And then we're now coming up to just before 8 o'clock when I've had a 4th bite, and it looks like, well, this one's been on for about 10 minutes now, which it's been taking me all over the place, probably because it's only a 6-foot rod, so that hasn't helped things. And yeah, I mean, there's absolutely no benefit really in this situation to be using a 6-foot rod. We could have just brought a 12-foot rod each, and then we'd have had a little bit more control in this situation with the reeds either side. But we didn't know it was going to be like this. We didn't know it was a kind of a reed bed, or reed beds all around the lake. But live and learn. Maybe next time if we bring one rod, we should be slightly better prepared. Saying that, it is good fun on a little 6-foot rod. Yeah, get in. That looks like a lovely upper double common. Nice. Well, there we go, just shy of £20. Proper chunky little common carp. So yeah, lovely fish, massive shoulders on it, and definitely put up a scrap on the little 6-foot extractor. Good fun, and yeah, nice to be off the mark, and definitely a little bonus fish, as obviously we're here to be filming the Mistral, guys. So yeah, always nice to get a bonus fish when we are filming like that. But let's slip this back. We're going to go and have a word with Leon, as obviously he had that 30 last night, the 32. So find out a little bit more about that, and I believe he might have lost one as well. So yeah, let's get this one back and then go and have a chat with Leon.
So carrying on from last night, after having that 32, 10 mirror, I lost one this morning at 4 o'clock. Repositioned the both rods on the same spot and presented with this little fella at 14.13. So we'll get him back in and let's see what comes to the rest of the day. So we've done our first 24 hours, going into our second. I've actually moved my rods all onto the same spot, which, whether it be a good idea or a bad idea, but that's the only place that's produced fish for me right now. So, you know, I'll put a bit of bait back out there, introduce fresh up baits. I'm going to start fishing on that area with the 3 baits now. We'll see how it goes, I guess. So the rig I'm using is just like a stiff filament on a runner with a size 7 Nash claw hook. And what I've done is, because it's on a pop-up, I've actually drilled the pop-up out with a 6mm little topper on, just to not compromise the buoyancy of it. I suppose if you was using a bigger hook, like a size 4, you would get away with that because it'd just sit correctly. You wouldn't need to obviously drill any type of the bait out to let the 6mm sit inside it, but obviously that's how I've done it, and it's worked quite well for me. Bait wise, what I like to do is salt the baits first in the water with a little bit of the liquid and let it take on, because I find that obviously when you salt the bait in the water, it opens up the pores on the bait, and then the liquid allows it to seep back in there, which gives you maximum effect, I suppose. Now with my bait preparation, like I say, I like to soak it in water and also the 2 liquids, which the lads at Mistral have used this quite extensively, and they class it as like a 50-50 mix of the Belgian shrimp and Atlantic crab. And we've got 3 different sizes in there. We've got 20mm, 15mm, and we've also introduced a 10mm Belgian shrimp into the Belgian shrimp range, which is really good. Now obviously they've been soaking in water, so they've took on quite nicely. They open up the crust on the bait when you soak them in water, and obviously allows the full flavour of the bait soak to go into them. And all I do then is use the Bellish and shrimp pellet and put some of that in. And also the Atlantic crab pellet as well. And that gives it a good mix up. And then add some more bait soak again. You can be generous with this because what you find is the pellet does absorb it, which is really good, and then obviously gives it a good slow seeping reaction as the pellet's breaking down, and obviously it absorbs back into the boilies too. What you find is the pellets become really tacky as well as they take on, but like I say, it absorbs into it really well, doesn't break them down, and then makes them super absorbent to it. But like I say, slow releasing over time, and then it's just sat in your swim, just oozing all that out. So what I've done is, now I've moved the 3 baits onto the spot. I've probably put about 3 or 4 kilo of this out over the top of it, and like I say, it's produced fish for me, and as we're going into the last 24 hours, we'll see what obviously it produces next.
Right, so I've got a fish on. I ran towards my rods, but it fought quite well at the beginning. It felt big, but it's gone to a bit of a dead weight, so I'm thinking it's in a weed bed. So I'm not sure what I'm wanting to do yet. I've gave it some line. That's just my line loosening up, but yeah, I don't know if it's unhooked itself in the weed bed or it's just sitting in the weed bed. But because I'm fishing hard to them snags, I got to my rod quite fast. But it still just went. I don't really know what to do. It's quite far. It's gone a lot to the right from where it was, but it's not in the reeds. It's definitely in a weed bed or on a snag. So I'm going to put it back on my alarms with a loose clutch and hoping it gets itself off. I'm hoping it gets itself off the reed bed, weeds or whatever it's stuck on, and comes back and gets in my net.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right up. If you reel into that. Yeah, it's going. Yeah, we'll back up here. Yeah, bring it, just keep the pressure on, walk all the way back up. Don't let it take any line.
Yep.
Just keep that pressure, keep coming this way.
Still feels quite solid. I can feel movement though.
Yeah. Go back a little bit more. You feel it pop free. We're going down this way.
This direction.
Good, it's still on though.
Yeah, it's definitely still on. Right, so as you just saw, I had that rod on my left rod. It went all the way around, got snagged on something under the water. It could be a weed bed, it could be a brush pile, I don't really know. But we got in the water taking the rod round. We were going to get to the other peg so we could have a different pivot point on the snag. And the swan just flew from this side of the lake all the way through, just tapping the line, and it snapped. So I've lost all my rigs, so I need to retie a new rig, put the fresh bait on and get it back out there, but hopefully I can have one very soon.
Well, fish number 2. Shortly after arriving back in my swim, after all that commotion in Noah's swim, which I think me and Joe are equally gutted for Noah, as I think his PB is about £15, so any bite from here could easily be a PB for him. But I'm sure he'll get many more chances throughout the session. But yeah, shortly after getting back into the swim, got the kettle on, about to make me and Joe a coffee, and my little rod ripped off. With this lovely upper double mirror. A little bit smaller than what the common was first thing this morning, but very welcome all the same. So get a few snaps, slip her back, and I think it's probably Joe's turn now. I'm not rubbing anything in, but yeah, definitely chance of a few more bites. So yeah, let's get this one back and finish that coffee off.
Right guys, 24 hours into the session, not a lot of luck so far. I've repositioned my rods
my left hand rod, took it further down the margin to read what sticks out slightly. It's a lot more clearer, found a lot more clearer. Obviously with yesterday, with it being, the weather being it was, today, this morning, I've had a little bit more of a lead about and I found a lot more of a clear spot. My middle rod, I've took it slightly off the island, and I found a nice hard spot, cracked down perfect, unbelievable, fantastic. Put about 6 or 7 spoms on that. Not so much whole boilies, just crumb, a few pellet soaked in matching Atlantic crab spod syrup. Then my right hand rod, it's in exactly the same position, I'm happy with that. We've had the deeper out earlier, I've seen 3 carp on that, feeding on the bottom on that, so hopefully, we'll show you a carp on the mat. For now, tight lines.
All right, well, we've just finished filming Nick, and as we finished filming Nick, we've heard that Noah has actually had a fish, and with the average size in here being probably bigger than his PB of £15, we're about to head over and have a look at that. After we've done that, we'll then get the rods out ourselves, because we've done the rounds. So yeah, every chance for a bite for us too as well.
I've caught this absolute beautiful 19 pounds on the dot carp here. It was on an Atlantic crab pop-up with a 6mm pineapple pop-up on the top of that. I caught it on a spinner rig, 20 wraps an ounce, into the middle of the lake on the plateau, and I've pulled out this absolute beautiful 19-pound carp. So it is a PB of mine as well, because I had a 15-pound PB previously. It's absolutely smashed my PB, and hopefully I can smash it again. So let's get her back. Right, so I've got my PB here. I had the grateful joy of soaking Rob yesterday when he had his PB, and he's currently waiting really patient behind the camera ready to soak me, and this is going to be very cold. I'm so chuffed on this.
So morning 2, a bit more of a quiet night last night. I did have another couple of bites, but one of them was a drop back, which the bobbin fell to the floor, picked up into it, absolutely nothing, lead had gone. So yeah, not really sure what happened with that, but the lead clips that I'm using, for some reason, they seem to snap quite easily. So dropping leads is easier on them ones than some others. And I'm normally a bit of a heli fan, but where we've only brought a little 1 rod setup, I thought I'm just going to bring whatever makes it easiest just to get a rod out on the off chance of a bite. So maybe that's at my own detriment, on my own peril. But I did have a bite probably about an hour after that. And to be honest, I thought it was a tench, and it turns out it was probably the smallest common in the lake. It was about £1, and all the way in it felt like a tench, and then it popped up and it had scales, and I was like, little common. So you quickly went back to bed after that?
Yeah, well, quite convenient, because neither of those takes meant I had to get out of the bed. So it was quite cushy for me, but as I just said, didn't have to get out of bed, meant that I didn't have a single beep either. So that's 2 nights on the trot, I've had nothing. Really bizarre, because if you look at our lines, we're fishing probably a rod length apart, and I mean a 6-foot rod length. So we're on the same spot, all bait on it, and just nothing's happened for me. It's just the way it goes. Whether the fish are coming round the trough from the left side, I don't know, or just thinking of excuses for why I haven't had a call, but nothing's happened on my rod, which is bizarre. They're still out at the moment, we're just gonna have a morning coffee, but we've seen some commotion and excitement down the bank because Rob, so the one that had his PB as soon as we got here, I think he's just broken it again. So we're gonna make our way down there once we've had a coffee, and that's been the most enjoyable thing about this session. I was saying to Luke, I don't care if I catch or not, seeing them breaking their PBs and the enjoyment and the buzz they're getting from these fish.
Well, they've both broken a PB as well, so, and potentially had broken it for a second time. Yeah. So it doesn't, obviously everyone likes to catch, but it obviously means a lot more to some than others. So definitely. Yeah, let's get this down us and go and have a look and see what he's got.
Because to wake us up, we need caffeine. They just need to catch fish to wake up.
We just don't catch fish, so we rely on caffeine.
I've just got this amazing fish. Early hours this morning at 5 o'clock, well just after 5, on an Atlantic crab pop up just off the reeds over there on my right rod, £26.15. New PB again. I got my first one when I was here and now I've got a new one again. Absolute beauty.
So Rob's had his PB here, and I think it's his time for the second time in the session to get a bit wet. And give the fish some water too. That's very nice, that's that. You're a bit wet there, Rob.
Right then, I've just slipped back my other fish. It was my PB, and now just caught another on the Atlantic crab pop up again, and this is 23.14. So it's not a newer PB, but still a £20, and I'm well happy with it. Looks beautiful, nice belly on it. We're going to get some cool pictures now, and then we're going to run you through tactics from our perspective, and tell you how we've been catching them at Abbey Lake. So I've just slipped back that carp. It was an amazing, beautiful light fish, and we're going to run you through some of the things that we've been using, the bait, our rigs, and how everything's been presented out. So if Noah wants to tell you what he's been doing.
So what I've been doing, I've been getting an Atlantic crab pop up, and I've been getting some of this new Atlantic crab bait spray, spraying it all over that pop up, whacking it out. I've had one of that. That's exactly what Rob's been doing as well. He's had 3 now. I've got to bag a few more before the day ends. We've got till about 3 o'clock to bag a few more carp. And then what we've been chucking around it is Atlantic crab boilies. Been firing tons out on the throwing stick. We've been spodding boilies out. We've been spodding a mix out with loads of pellets, crushed crumbs, glug, everything. So it's a mint spod mix, and it's really good for getting the fish because it's really working for you. Not much for me, but...
Well, I've been using some Atlantic crab pellets from mistralbaits, and then some Atlantic crab boilies and some Belcher shrimp boilies, same with the pellets as well, and then the glugs, just your Belcher shrimp and Atlantic crab. We've just been sharing it around, both got different things. And then on my hook bait, some Atlantic crab 15mm pop-ups,
which have got a load of Atlantic crab glug on as well, so they've been so clean, and they're a bit crabby. But they are deadly for these carp. It's definitely working out for you, isn't it?
Yeah, and then just so I make sure my hook's all presented, I just stick a little PVA nugget on it, and just make sure it's all nice and clear from the weed, because it's a weedy lake. But yeah, if you want, carry on.
Yep, so what I've been doing is slinging out my left rod for about 20 wraps onto a little boat launching thing, so a boat dock. And I've been getting round, walking around the lake, chucking out I've chucked out probably half a kilo of bait onto it, and then that's been on an Atlantic crab pop-up, and then on my right hand rod I've been slinging it out in the middle about 20 wraps as well, and that is also on Atlantic crab pop-up, soaked in this bait spray with spods going over. I did about 4 or 5 spods over, and I did that probably twice a day, so not actually too much bait out on the rods, but Rob's put even less, and he's pulling out even more fish, so I think I'm getting to slow down on the bait a bit.
I don't want to put loads of bait out, just because I don't want all the fish just be all over the place or go on the feed and not have mute bait. So I've just put 3 spoms over each rod. My left rod was out middle, but I've had nothing off it for 2 days, so I've just rebaited it, brought it back in with the same stuff that we've just mentioned down here, and I've put it a bit more to the right, close to the reeds where I've been having my fish, and then I'm going to put also my right rod, which is with me here, which I'll show you my leader core and what I've been using on that.
But he's basically moved his left hand rod about a rod length off his right hand rod, so he's trying to find this pocket of fish, so because he's pulling them out, they've got to be there, he just has to get on them all the time. But Rob will show you now what rig he's using, leader core, lead and everything else.
Right then, put that there. So it's just a normal helicopter leader with a 2-ounce lead on, not heavy at all because I'm not going very far, and then a spinner rig made up by him. Very nice, it's done me well. Atlantic crab pop up, like I've just said, with all the glugs on. Everything's all been soaking up in that, and That's what's been banging me. Just that right there, all presented nicely on the weed, I'm assuming, because they're definitely taking them now, and they're definitely feeding on the spot. But yeah, so I think I'm going to go whip this back out on the spot, and hopefully I can bang a couple more before 3 o'clock.
I think I need a few more as well, or I'm going home with a 19 pounder, which I won't get over the 20 pound mark, but fingers crossed I can have a few more.
Yep.
So I casted this rod out this morning. This is literally the rod I was just talking about that I've been throwing bait out off the boat dock, and I was literally just making up some more bait to throw out off the boat dock, and it is ripped off. It ripped off about the same time yesterday, but yesterday it got stuck in the reeds and a swan came along and snapped it for me. So hopefully I can land this one. It's not fighting very hard, so I'm really hoping it's not a tench, but I think it's a bit heavy to be a tench. I can see its silhouette. It's a mirror.
Don't want to stab at it.
Yeah.
Slung the hook that foot from the bank. It wasn't bigger than your 19, don't worry. But
Wow, that was a disaster. The hook's caught up in loads of weed all around this. So we've literally got an hour or two left till really I need to start to get my bank sticks in and everything. So we've not got long left at all, and my rattan rod just ripped off. I was mixing up some bait, just getting a bit more prep ready just for the last hour or two, and this rattan rod just ripped off. I've lost one previously which I saw, which literally came off foot away from the net. I was gutted, but if I can get this in, I'll be so chuffed. So let's try get this one in. This one feels a lot bigger than the last one, and a lot bigger than the 19 pounder I had previously in the session. As I said last time, these carp in this lake are really weird. They just hold the depth. They don't try to swim away, fight much, but when they come to the net, then that's when they fight. Or they beat you up on the bank like Rob's did. Just so you know, Rob, even if you can't net it, if it comes off, I'm blaming it on you. Just because you've had more fish and I'm allowed. Oh. Go on, Rob. Go on, Rob. You can net that. Oh, it's in. Oh my God. Oh, I'm getting wet. Oh, it's quite cold actually. Oh my, that is long. It's not got much of a belly. No way. Shaking.
About time you got one.
Got it in the net. Let's go. Film.
I saw it. Did you see it?
I see it.
Ready? Who's going to tell him?
48.
No. 27-2.
27-2. No way.
Right to death, he's taking over.
27-2. Rob's still winning on their mount though, but there's still time. Thanks, nice one. Oh. So I've got an absolute beautiful fish here. 27 2-ounce, just beating Rob's PB. And now I've got a bigger PB than Rob, but this is an absolute beautiful fish. It is so long. It's not got as big of a belly as Rob's, but definitely longer. I caught it on an Atlantic crab pop-up with a 6mm pineapple pop-up on top, and it's definitely done the trick because this fish is an absolute unit. So I've got this absolute beast, and it's been a friendly competition between me and Rob, catching the most PBs, but Rob has got the most fish. There's still a good 30 minutes left, so maybe, but I think this is an amazing way to end the session. Look at that absolute beast. It's so long, and I'm so happy to get it. Feels good to show up everyone else here, apart from Leon obviously, because he had a 32-11 last night. Carp Manto hasn't had anything, but he's tried his best.
and it just weren't any swim, it seems like, but I'm so chuffed with my PB. It's an absolute beautiful fish. Well chuffed.
Ready? Do the honours.
Let's go. Beautiful fish.
Proud of you,
Absolutely beautiful.
Ready? Just doing some more, mate.
Yeah,
Lift
why
it,
not?
lift it.
Absolutely beautiful. So chuffed. Didn't even get me got a fish. This is mint. So happy. Right, we'll let her go.
Grab the sling.
Get in.